Hello there, thanks for coming by PosterCentral.com's video blog today. I'm Pete Howard, and the year was 1963, the year of Ring of Fire, Johnny's biggest hit ever, and JFK was still our president. For these two posters I'm going to show you from 1963. A couple of fun ones here, and I'm starting with January, the very beginning of the year of 1963, and this one from Des Moines, Iowa. Now, if you're a poster collector of any kind, you'll certainly recognize what I will call this overly familiar KRNT theater and look of posters. It was from Des Moines, Iowa. There were just a lot that were saved and therefore have gotten out into collectors' hands, and we can thank promoter Smokey Smith for that, probably, for hanging on to them. But he just filled the 60s with concert posters in the Midwest, focusing mostly on the country music genres. So, as I said, overly familiar, but, you know, it was an original made before the show to sell tickets, and, 14 by 22 inch window card, definitely who's to disparage it. I mean, you do have Johnny Cash after all. And look at that photo of him, boy, I'll tell you, just eyes straight into the camera, his hair greased back, and the fabulous Johnny Cash show. Really nice. And then color-wise, as you can see, it has red venue information and an orange body of the poster. Now, I'm going to move right to the, if you will, right to the gist of this thing, and go down to the lower left-hand corner there, and as you can see, what do you see? Country super legend George Jones. Look at him in the corner. And it's funny, after his name, okay, I'm going to get up and really give you a look at this. After his name, look at that, it says number 1-1962. Take a good look at June too, because I'm going to get to her in a second. Anyway, George Jones, number 1 in 1962, that's right. The previous year, he had a hit that was number 1 for a month and a half. But in this year, in 1963, he would have what only by George Jones standards was an off year, with 3 top 10 hits, but no number 1s. So, he was just a real country hit-making machine, but for some reason he's just way down billed. But, to have George Jones and Johnny Cash on the same concert poster is just really crazy. And then, as I said, next to him, there's June Carter, the number 1 most common presence on Johnny Cash concert posters throughout the 60s, for obvious reasons. But it's kind of funny because, this photo, she looks like she stepped right out of the 1950s. Sort of an old photo. Again, we're in January of 63, so you'd think they, well, I don't know when the picture was taken. I just think it looks surprisingly dowdy of her, but that's okay. And it's also fun, she's billed as top comedienne, which is sort of another glaring anachronism, if you will. I mean, this was the year that, as I said, Johnny took Ring of Fire to the top of the charts, and she, by her accounts, and others co-wrote the song along with Merle Kilgore, and it was number 1 for 2 months later on this year, biggest hit of Johnny's career. But interestingly, Johnny Cash's first wife completely disputes that and says that June didn't write the song any more than I did. And then maybe Johnny wrote it one night when he was all drunk and everything. So, I hate it when there's disputes like that over a very important aspect of pop culture or music, but we just have to accept it for what it is. Regardless, even let's say she didn't write June of Fire, any way you look at it, June Carter was very much well on her way to becoming Johnny's sidekick, both musically and personally, and here she is way down at the bottom. And then above them, if I'd only move my fingers, you'd get a good look at Grandpa. Yep, there's Granpa Jones. His only big hit, T for Texas, was a top 5 country hit, and it was there right now at the time of this concert, so that's really fun. And then the other 3 performers had no, little or no chart action whatsoever. Okay, so from January of 63, let's jump ahead from a very common tour blank, or a common looking feel to this poster, to a complete onesie from April of 63, which I'm sure you've never seen before. Let's position my fingers just right, shall we? Look at this dandy, huh? This is really unusual. Look at that picture of Johnny. Wow, that's really sort of unusual of him, not a standard one. And I love the slug line there under his name. Look how Johnny's billed. America's most wanted singin' storyteller. That's really fun. And there we have June. She's definitely looking spiffier, and she's now top billed among the support acts. And Ring of Fire was recorded just 4 weeks before this concert here in April, but had not been released yet. So, but I'll bet the buzz was pretty strong in the Cash camp, and June's stock was rising practically every month at this point in 1963. But you know something? The real home run with this poster is not the picture of Johnny or June or anything like that. Look at this. It's actually a photograph in concert of Johnny with the Tennessee 3. Boy, isn't that sweet. Left to right there, you've got Marshall Grant on upright bass, W.S. Holland on drums, Johnny, of course, and guitarist extraordinaire Luther Perkins on the far right. You know, you just hardly ever see that on a concert poster, an actual live photo of the act. You know, you'd think those things would go together, but you just don't see it in any genre, whether it's rock or blues or country or jazz or whatever. You always get the publicity headshots or just, you know, a better look at their face. You just hardly ever see a live performance picture of the act being advertised on one of their live performance marketing materials, concert posters. So, boy, to get a Johnny Cash poster with great headshots of the future husband and wife and Johnny with the Tennessee 3 is just kick-ass. Excuse the expression. That solidly rocks. So, a couple of great Johnnies from 1963, as I said, when JFK was still our president and the world was young and country music was great and posters were too. So, hope you enjoyed seeing them. Thanks a lot for coming by, and we'll catch you again for something soon. Okay, bye-bye.